world that thrives on oversharing, where everyone is talking but few are truly thinking, there's a quiet kind of strength that comes from saying less. Restraint has become a superpower. The moment words leave your lips, they stop belonging to you. What you reveal can, and often will, be used against you. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. They believed that silence was not weakness, but wisdom. In a society built on noise, self-control is rebellion. So here are 9 things you should always keep to yourself, not out of fear, but out of respect, for your peace, your power, and your purpose. 1. Your past mistakes. Everyone has a past, and within it, mistakes that still echo. But constantly revisiting your failures in front of people who haven't earned your trust only hands them a weapon. The Stoic doesn't erase his past, he refines it privately. When you expose your regrets too openly, people stop seeing the person you've become. They see the version of you that stumbled. They start labeling you by your lowest moments. Marcus Aurelius taught that what's done belongs to fate, but what's next belongs to discipline. Don't bury your mistakes, study them. Reflect on them like a craftsman refining his art. Your past isn't a confession booth for others to judge. It's a private classroom where wisdom grows in silence. The next time you're tempted to explain yourself to the world, pause. You owe no one your history, only your progress. 2. Your deepest fears. Fear is human. It's the shadow that follows every ambition. But confessing your deepest fears to just anyone is like handing them the keys to your peace. Not everyone seeks to understand. Some seek to control. Seneca warned, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The true source of fear lies not in the external threat, but in the internal exaggeration. When you share that fear recklessly, others can twist it, exploit it, or feed it back to you in ways that keep you small. Instead of broadcasting your insecurities, confront them in solitude. Journal them. Sit with them until their edges soften. Fear loses its power when faced with discipline, not attention. The Stoic doesn't chase fearlessness. He trains for composure. Let your calmness become your armor. Let your silence become your sanctuary. 3. Family problems and regrets. Family has the unique power to wound in ways no outsider ever could. The pain cuts deeper because it's carved by love, betrayal, silence, disappointment. These are scars that shape us. But airing them publicly only deepens the damage. The moment you turn your family struggles into stories for others, they stop being sacred. People will dissect your pain, debate your choices, and use your wounds as gossip. What was once a moment of heartbreak becomes entertainment. Even Marcus Aurelius endured turmoil within his own bloodline. His son Commodus would later tarnish his legacy. Yet Marcus never sought pity. He turned inward, toward purpose, discipline, and duty. Family pain is real, but it's also refining. Let it forge your strength, not your bitterness. Protect your private stories like sacred relics. Your healing is not a public performance. It's a silent act of self-respect. 4. Romantic failures. Love is one of life's greatest teachers, and heartbreak, one of its harshest. Too often, people turn their heartbreak into theater, narrating every betrayal and regret, as if exposure equals closure. But your romantic failures aren't public property. They're emotional scars meant to heal, not headlines meant to spread. When you overshare, you lose the dignity that silence could have preserved. The truth is, most people don't listen to understand. They listen to compare, to gossip, or to judge. Your vulnerability becomes their amusement. Forgive the one who hurt you. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know. Then, move on quietly. Let your peace be your closure. Let your growth become your revenge. The Stoic doesn't broadcast heartbreak. He transforms it into wisdom. Remember, not every chapter is meant to be read aloud. 5. Your next big move. There's something mysterious and magnetic about a person who works in silence. The calm before success is sacred, but most people sabotage it by seeking validation too early. When you reveal your plans prematurely, you invite interference, envy, and doubt. What could have grown strong in the shadows dies under the light of scrutiny. Marcus Aurelius didn't announce his victories before they were earned. He simply acted with purpose and precision, trusting the outcome to speak for itself. Whatever you're building, whether it's a dream, a business, or a new version of yourself, nurture it in private. Guard it like a seed still beneath the soil. Let the results reveal themselves when they're ready. The greatest power lies in restraint. Let them guess. Let them wonder. When your time comes, let your success make the noise your mouth never did. 6. Your acts of kindness. In an age obsessed with recognition, true goodness hides quietly. When you do good, do it without an audience. Because the moment you brag about it, ego enters the room. Virtue, to the Stoics, was its own reward. Seneca believed that doing good for praise corrupts the act itself. Yet today, kindness is often performed like theater, for likes, applause, or validation. When you boast about your generosity, you invite expectations. People begin to see your kindness as currency. They'll take your goodness for granted, or question your motives. So let your compassion be invisible. Help without posting it. Give without mentioning it. The purest acts of virtue are the ones done when no one is watching. 7. Your income and wealth. Money exposes more than it protects. In a world where value is measured in possessions, it's tempting to flaunt success, but disclosure breeds danger. When people know what you earn, what you drive, or what you spend, they start calculating, not appreciating. Some will envy, others will scheme, and a few will secretly root for your downfall. The Stoics didn't equate wealth with virtue. To them, money was neither good nor evil. It was neutral. Its danger lay in attachment and exposure. Your finances are your business. The less others know, the freer you remain. Because the moment your wealth begins to speak for you, your voice loses meaning. Quiet wealth, quiet power. Let humility be your luxury. 8. Your spiritual beliefs. The Stoics viewed the inner life as sacred ground, a temple of reason, virtue, and peace. They didn't parade their spirituality for validation. They lived it through discipline. Today, spirituality is often performed instead of practiced. People quote ancient wisdom while ignoring its application. They display their beliefs for clout rather than connection. Your spiritual convictions are not meant to be trends. They are seeds, delicate and evolving. Protect them as you would protect fire in the wind. When your faith is still growing, it's fragile. Expose it too soon, and it can be distorted by others' opinions. Real spirituality doesn't demand to be seen. It reveals itself quietly in your patience, humility, and daily conduct. Keep your connection to the divine private. Let your actions, not your declarations, testify to your beliefs. 9. Your private ambitions. There's a version of you that exists only in your imagination, stronger, wiser, more complete. But until that version becomes reality, protect it. Talking about transformation too soon often feels like progress, but it's not. It's premature satisfaction. When you reveal your ambitions before they've taken shape, you invite doubt from others, and sometimes from yourself. Some will remind you of who you were. Others will quietly wait for your failure. The Stoics believed in working in silence and letting character, not talk, define growth. Marcus Aurelius didn't announce who he was becoming. He simply corrected who he was each day. Ambition is sacred energy. Don't waste it through explanation. Build yourself quietly and let results speak in time. We live in a noisy world, one that equates volume with value. But Stoicism teaches us that silence is not emptiness, it's clarity. Not weakness, but control. To withhold is to preserve. To stay silent is to remain in power. The loudest voice in the room often has the least to say. The strongest presence is often the one that simply observes. In a culture that rewards attention, learn to master restraint. Speak less. Move quietly. Let your peace become your statement. Because when you stop explaining yourself to the world, you finally start listening to yourself.
If you found value in this, consider sharing it with someone who could benefit. And don't forget, a simple like goes a long way in spreading Stoic wisdom. For more insights on philosophy, personal growth, and the art of clear thinking, subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay strong, stay mindful, and above all, stay Stoic. See you in the next video.